But Mirage, yesterday, they played against Liquid, and they were getting absolutely hammered at the start of the game. Remember, it was like 6-1 in favor of Liquid, then Twist went for that really audacious overextension peak, died, and then the comeback started to come into fruition. But there were a lot of issues with that Mirage performance. So I'm looking now at this Veto, and I'm thinking, actually, FURIA have a real shot at winning this.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they will. We're going to find out. We're not going to delay any further. The casters are going to stop talking and start casting instead, which is what we're all here for anyway. FURIA going to be starting on the CT side. The MongolZ going to be on that T side. I'm seeing a smoke and a flashbang on Blitz, and not really much more to play around with in terms of the utility. So that smoke presumably going to be, if they end up going for that B bomb site, which I guess we don't really know yet. If they don't, maybe it's just for the jungle. So when they run up connector, they can smoke off jungle and just focus on that CT spawn position. This does actually, now that I look at it, feel a little bit more like this could be an A split. So timing here for 9-10. Serato in such a weird position. Why is he looking into, what is even happening? Where are they all shooting blanks? We are live, right? I can't believe what's going on.
I know you were playing some deathmatch just before we got started. It was probably like, I'm still playing, aren't I?
Yeah. Is this me?
Oh. Well, Cello's at least alleviating the pressure on middle, but he's going to have to fight off against two more players. Blitzno's lost his head as well. And suddenly FURIA, even though that very strange position from Serato got punished, they do have the advantage, but not for much longer.
Yeah, look at the push coming in. Derek's just trying to rescue the bomb. That's in lower. Dark fallen with a great headshot, and Yuri takes down Senzu. What an absolutely bizarre way to get started. I think the plan was definitely there for the MongolZ. No question what they wanted to do. They just ran into so many players in the middle and unfortunately missed about 80% of their shots. And typically that does make for a very hard pistol round. On the other hand, the USPs here. Cello with some very, very fast kills. It's pretty good stuff here. FURIA going to pick up the pistol round, and I'm sure that is a nice way to get this game started for them.
The only thing I can really maybe think of to give Serato the benefit of the doubt is maybe they'd been reading a lot of the MongolZ pistol rounds on Mirage, and they felt like mid would not be contested, and therefore Serato's chair position is actually pretty strong. But once he committed, he would have been very worried about being pushed from underpass as well, which is why he kind of fully committed to that 1v1 duel.
True.
Didn't work out for him, but at least his team picked it up anyway. So the MongolZ on the back foot, having no post plant to play with.
And no bomb plant, so going to be a little bit of a slow round. You waste the grenades from the CT side. We all know the speech by now. They have a couple of deals too, so there is always a chance you can find some real damage with that. But there should be no real opportunity to actually win the round. If they get the bomb planted even, I would be pretty impressed. But I guess Mirage is one of those maps where one good deagle headshot and you can clear open a space to plant the bomb. Pretty far back is Yuri at the moment. They've got this double setup in middle. Fallen's rotated really far away. So actually that does massively increase the chances for a bomb plant. Again, probably will have to try and get this kill on Yuri rather quickly. But I don't know. They've made it a bit easier FURIA for MongolZ to maybe find a path to the bomb site. Some good clicks coming out. Really conserving that ammunition.
Lack of smoke's always going to be a problem trying to force that plant down. Jungle and connector. Going to be real issues to contend with, and it looks like it's going to be a clean sweep, pretty straightforward as you'd expect. Oh, I said that Senzu does peel back the dome with skulls, and he was another player that did have his struggles on Mirage. You know, we talked a few times. He was 4-13 at one point. He was on 36 ADR, but he did start to awaken on the second half. That being said, the second half was the T side. It was the CT side where the MongolZ really struggled. The T side against Liquid was pretty damn good.
They're gonna need to show up with absolutely everything here today. There's just no question about it. Again, it's a long road back once you end up in that 0-2 bracket, or the 1-2 bracket in this case. I mean, like, you're gonna have to really struggle to get back into it. Backs to the wall, and elimination on the line. We do have AKs coming out now for the Mongol side of things, and quite a lot of smokes, one Molotov as well, and an insane flashbang that just completely wrecks Techno. It looked like he didn't even bother to move. He just accepted his fate at that point. He was like, oh, well, yeah, I'm dead. I'm not even going to try and look around or shoot or anything.
It's like the Jurassic Park. If I don't move, they can't see me. Unfortunately, they could, mate. You were easy pickings. Maybe thought that 910 had his back as well, because he was just around the periphery of the ramp side for T-Spawn. But he wasn't in position to thwart that push, unfortunately.
Just to say, the don't move thing only works with dinosaurs, and they don't have flashbangs. But it is a horrifying thought if you had T-Rexes with flashbangs. I won't lie. That is obviously that's a real nightmare scenario.
I'm just thinking about T-Rexes now with AKs in their little arms. I don't know why, it's buckling me.
Dino Riders, if anyone ever watched that television show, it's fantastic.
Classic.
Anyway, that's only for people who are like, you know, essentially boomers like me and Vince. 40 seconds left here, and they're going to be pushing the bomb site. Skulls is going to die one way or another here. They're going to be coming at him. He's got nowhere to stand. There's one, but Blitz will be quick on the return, and they actually gave him even more space than I was expecting. Bomb looks like it's going to be planted here. The Molotov actually does rain in on the incendiary, and 9-10. He's going to be forced out, and a little bit of panic on top. He probably didn't have to go that deep, but he did. Trade comes in. K-Sorato to take down Blitz, and a very, very nice round here for FURIA, with K-Sorato picking up 3 kills. And to be honest, Skulls, even though it didn't have that much of a chance, just even getting the 1 kill there and buying a little bit of time is pretty good news.
Oh, no doubt. I think the reason why 9-10 goes for that wide swing as well is because, like you mentioned, they Molotoved and flashed on the site, and he's probably cognizant of the fact that there could be a catwalk push coming in from short as well. So trying to get to that close angle where you can watch the windows from the market being pushed in. But unfortunately, it doesn't make too much of difference as FURIA do speed to a 3-0 lead. Good news for MongolZ, a bit of saving grace at least, as they did get another plant in, so they can rustle together a Hero AK, some Deagles, and some Tech 9s. And we saw just how powerful they were with these weapons yesterday. They got a lot of rounds with these weird sort of bargain buys, so FURIA can't assume anything.
AWP out in the hands of Fallen, and it's not that much cash really on the FURIA side. You look at the scoreline, you say 3-0, but it's not like they've made that much money yet. So kind of important here to keep it going. Don't end up in a position where you end up losing too many rifles if you could avoid it. Blitz does have the AK, and he is going to be hanging around in that underpass position. Bomb is slowly but surely gravitating back towards the A-bomb side. With Blitz here, not feeling too much pressure. He actually, in fact, looks like he's going to be walking straight through that smoke. It's a really big risk, but it does afford him an interesting position where it's possible that FURIA just are not expecting it. I'm surprised that he's made it this far without being discovered, and now he's going to get smoked in from a teammate here. Very nice. It's going to allow him to keep moving forward without being at risk of getting shut down from the window position. So everything about this really working out well for MongolZ at the moment. They've lost Sensu at the meantime, but Blitz is obviously the real weapon in this round, and he's going to be taking down Skulls to begin with. Bomb is being planted on the other side. MongolZ, they've made a lot out of very little so far.
I think you've painted a perfect picture here. Like, the Blitz really, forward position being on point was massive. You got a kill from it as well. Post plant in. Even if the MongolZ lose from this point, they've got mission accomplished, but they'll be looking for more. They want this win. They're now in such a good position. 2 players on ramp, 1 around con with the AK, and Cello has to try and clear his angles before he can get back onto the site. Already 2/3 of the fuse have ticked away. There are multiple kits, but that was a really important kill from Cello. If Blitz wins out, the bomb is planted for him, and there's a very good possibility that the MongolZ secure it. Instead, FURIA will be wiping the sweat off their brow, but they've extended their lead to 4.
Man, that is unbelievably close right there. They did not have a smoke, which is, you know, if they really wanted to put pressure on Blitz in the middle, a smoke would have been the tool for it, but they didn't have it. Really smart round. That definitely could have worked, and they had all the tools for it. Especially love the detail with the smoke for jungle, just to make sure that he could have navigated this whole space without really worrying about it. He does go back to middle as soon as the bomb is planted. But it's actually a really good round for the MongolZ. And it also sets them up to collapse the FURIA economy very, very quickly. So even if they lose that round, I don't think they're too sad, right? All they really had was some upgraded pistols, a little bit of utility, and the AK. They're going to go into this next one, I think, quite motivated to take it and bounce right back into the game.
100%. The only player that was low on funds was Blitz. He had $450, but because of that plant, they can juggle around the finances. AWP in play for 9-10 as well. First time we've seen that from him on the T side. And you spot on, like FURIA, they'll be looking at the scoreboard feeling good about that 4-0 lead, but they know how fragile this lead really is, especially against them like MongolZ. And we discussed at length yesterday that one of the keys to victory was Blitz and his mid control on both CT and T side, and he nearly showed us again in that previous round why.
Yeah, they've been upgrading into the tournament, like you said. Every game they look a little bit better, they look a little bit more switched on. Mechanically, I would say they should be able to beat FURIA in this one. FURIA is a fun team, though, because there are some really big X factors. I say K-Sorato might be one of them. I'd say Fallen might be the biggest X factor of all. Because there are definitely times where people are like, it's time for Fallen, it's too much, like we can't have him more pain anymore, what's going on? But there are times when he is still that monster from way back when, and, you know, I live for those moments. Yuri is going to go down early, and that is way too many targets. Cello ends up getting dropped. Skulls, not quite alone. He's actually got a great rotation coming in. They might actually win off of this FURIA. I don't know how they managed to get so many people here, but unfortunately, they're not able to coordinate the defense well enough. I do think with that many people there, FURIA, if they don't quite go for the fights, because MongolZ basically called a freeze there. They just said, okay, we're going to stop on that catwalk position and up in the apartments and just wait and see if FURIA do anything. And they did. A couple of swings coming out. I think if FURIA would have respected it and just kind of held back a little bit, there is actually a chance they could have held the defense. But regardless, MongolZ, they kind of get what they wanted here, and they're on the board for the first time.
Yes, sir, they are. And Fallen knows that fragile economy we were discussing before, saving the AWP will afford them the luxury of maybe going in for a buy. It's going to be a tough one, though, because you got Cello down at $50. It's not as if Case Sparta was faring much better. 2,400 after the end of the round. So maybe a tactical timeout coming in to try and discuss where to go next. It wouldn't be a bad idea after winning 4 rounds. You want to try and hold that momentum, get on the same page in terms of your financial decision-making. We'll see, though. But I agree with you. I think FURIA, they do look to Fallen a lot of the time to have impact. Not just, of course, in terms of IGLing, but it's the AWPer as well still. Classic, ridiculous, legendary AWPer in his day. I go back to, like, the SK Gaming days, man. The guy was a phenom.
I mean, he just has this, you know, style that it's hard to predict. You know that he's going to be, you know, a little bit more aggressive than maybe you would normally want to see, and you know, sometimes it does blow up, but there are definitely times where that's what wins you the round or wins you the fight. Yeah, I have a weakness for that kind of AWP play. But I'm not going to deny, I'm not going to say, I definitely also recognize that there is a big inconsistency in Fallen's play at the current, in current year. And it would be silly to try and deny that. A little boost up here with the FAMAS. It's a really good idea. A lot of damage on the Blitz. Maybe even could have been a kill, but he's going to be somewhat lucky to stay alive there. Looks like we're going to go back towards that B bomb site. And Fallen is in the area. I think he might even be boosted up on top of the box, which means even if they smoke, unless they know a very special smoke, he's not even, he's just boosted on top of another player. So that could be a bit of a problem. They might get shot in the back here instead. Fallen just about ready. The flashes paving the way so that Fallen can't actually take the shot here. And he's going to get traded out. Maybe he just wasn't even... Maybe he just didn't have a finger on his trigger there. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, and then just to make matters worse, he's got a teammate blocking his shot as well. What I assume happened is that he was trying not to give his position away with the AWP, and he's like, probably. I want to find the proper shot, you know, I don't want to take a speculative shot while flashbang. But the problem is he waited too long. It was paralysis by analysis, and ultimately did nothing with the AWP at all. And the MongolZ clearly have also decided, like, okay, this B site is kind of weak. They've pushed there now multiple times in a row and been having a lot of success off it.
What's even more frustrating is they're pushing it when FURIA actually have a lot of people here. And that's the FURIA still... I mean, this time it was also down to the weapons and everything else, but, yeah. Unfortunately, people in the chat are going to be memeing on Fallen now, you know? Old man reflexes, just kind of watching. It's like a real Joe Biden AWP moment there. Anyway, Vince, pull it together.
My bad. Well, here we go. Both teams have a full investment, although Furious is a little bit shaky. MP9 for Cello, not too many grenades on a few players. You've only got 2 incendiaries in total, and nearly the opening pick for Blitz. Catches Case Sparta with a grenade in hand. His price is paid. 62 health going away from him. So the MongolZ again with early mid control. I'm looking to maybe boost into the window. On the other side of the smoke, but finds the kill as the grenade comes in to blow it open, and Case Sparta makes the most of it with 2.
Massive couple of kills coming out. We know what he could do. We know how good Case Sparta can be. Techno finds himself alone and weird mission right now. They don't have a lot of money in the bank. I mean, in theory, he could actually save the AK. It would be a kind of a boring outcome for the rest of us, but or especially the AWP. That might be the choice almost immediately there. Long time, and they are already hunting. I think Case Sparta's already heard him there. So unfortunately, yeah, they're gonna be running him down. You can see on the other side, Yuri's trying to close the box on him. don't think he's going to be able to make it out. And indeed, it's KSerato finding a third kill. He's 10-4 right now. So that probably is one of the big win conditions for the potential FURIA upset, is somebody like KSerato really stepping it up. That's massive. You know, they didn't have a lot of money to work with here, FURIA, necessarily. They really needed to shut down MongolZ right away.
You know, we were talking yesterday about, you know, the whole Nico situation, where it would be a travesty if he ends his career without winning a major. I wouldn't say KSerato's in that same level for me, but at one point, this guy was regarded as one of the best riflers in the world. And I think it's safe to say, for a lot of people, he hasn't really reached the potential and the level that a lot of us expected like 3 or 4 years ago. It is quite sad, really, because he is a crazy talent.
Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree. And you know, for somebody like that, he's got the experience, he's obviously got the, you know, he's got the mechanics for it. It's hard to give up on somebody like KSerato. So, you know, I can understand why he's still talked about and why he's, you know, he's still getting a lot of opportunities, because you see moments like this and you think, that's it, that's exactly what we want. We just want it pretty much all of the time, which is it's a big ask, big demands. 5-2 the scoreline here, and the MongolZ with another purchase coming in. They do have the AWP on 9-10. KSerato thinking about it. It looks like they're going to get some window control here. That's a huge tactical position for the MongolZ. I mean, I can't believe they've got in here with nobody knowing.
And it's a position that they won the round off last if it wasn't for KSerato's double. And this time, he's not going to feel himself into any kills. Shut down by Mazzinho. Bit of a jump scare moment. Had no idea. And now Techno on the staircase. Unbeknownst to him, Yuri in the sandwich, and he's going to devour two. 2 headshots, Molotov down. He's going to force him out into the open, but Senzu shuts him down first. Cello and Skull still remain, though. Those 2 kills from Yuri, they've given FURIA another lifeline, but a well-placed smoke is going to cause havoc if they want to try and retake this. Post-plant coming in.
They don't necessarily have the money either. I do love the fact that they not only Molotov, but also held the corner from 2 different directions for that sandwich position, just absolutely making sure there was no escape whatsoever. Yeah, they've already made the call. Obviously, they are going to be falling back and saving, so MongolZ will find a way to a 3rd round. Now, you know, quick apologies to all the people who, for whatever reason, typed Joe Biden in the chat and all got banned. That's my bad, guys. You know, I'll take the L on that one. I did bait you guys into it, so... you know, we'll work on banning you guys at some point later. But anyway, like, this is for the side of the MongolZ, 3-5. It's not the hottest start ever, but you're still very competitive in this game right now. We've got a couple of players who haven't done too much. Techno, who often ends up doing, you know, a lot of the entry work, is you know, is 1-8 right now. So I'm sure there's more to come still. And again, because the economy is so thin on that FURIA side, they just need 1 round here, MongolZ, and they're going to tie up the game.
I think you raised a really good point as well, because a lot of people do kind of get Techno's back about his statistics sometimes, like he drops pretty low ratings, sometimes has like some pretty rough scorelines, but like you said, like he's doing a lot of the dirty work a lot of the time. He's the guy pushing in so that the rest of the MongolZ can thrive, the likes of Senzu to follow him up in that 1-2 combo with the second guy in. He runs a lot of havoc on maps like Mirage as well, trying to get the flanks into play through smokes and whatnot. So, yeah, he is doing a real job for the MongolZ. Not always getting the best of score lines. Doesn't always look like he's having a great match, but what he does for his team is invaluable.
It absolutely is, yeah, and you're right. The scoreline will often betray him, and unfortunately, that's just the nature of being that kind of player. Here we go, though. Round number 9, and this is a little bit of a faster one. And with no mid-presence, it's an all-out classic A execute on the A-bomb side. We all know what it looks like. KSerato trying to see if he can look over. I say it's classic, but they've been delayed so much that the initial smokes are gone. A little bit confusing here for MongolZ. I don't know why they don't try and take a little bit more space. They've also been delayed so much now. Cello is on a bit of a flank. This is potentially quite dangerous. 9-10 going to be going down. The scout from Fallen finds the head of Mazzinho, and he leaves Techno to 1 versus 4. And he was going to die for sure, one way or another. It's another triple for KSerato. And FURIA, they defended, but also in part just because the MongolZ were, I don't know, stepping on each other's toes over there by that shadow position. Very confusing.
Yeah, it's kind of the same feelings that we've had watching the MongolZ against Apogee and then Liquid, where it just doesn't feel like they're really in full sort of flow state. You know, there are teams typically effortless, like just fluidity on pushing executes and being aggressive, especially on the T sides. But I agree with you, it just feels like something's a little bit off. The timing's not quite there. They're just half a step behind. Queserato with 3 has now moved up to 13 frags with 3 multi-kills already and 105 ADR. So he's having a really good game. But so is Yuri, to be fair. He's got 6 assists with 8 kills. And he's on 125 ADR. So you've got those 2 power players that people often talk about with FURIA, both teeing off. But it's 9-10 that kicks off this round.
What a start. Queserato is going to be taking down Senzu. They did lose Cello at the same time, but it's not bad at all. A lot of damage on the skulls. He's not loving life at the moment. Counter grenade comes out. Queserato is ready, but unfortunately for him, Techno was right there to take over. Molotov behind skulls, and he's going to have to be careful. They do want to boost up Fallen, or maybe not. It's going to be skulls to take a bit of a peek into the middle. Still, it is a 3 versus 3. Out on the A-bomb side, it's Massinio. If he can stay alive here, then, yeah, that's going to be a bomb plant. The bomb is up in the palace, so very, very nicely done.
He's cleared so much space for his teammates, yeah, and then with Skulls being on 15 HP, and the money still not being ideal on multiple players, I think it will be a save. They're already backing off together, going to try and bodyguard Fallen's AWP, of course. He's up to 7 kills. You know, we're talking about he's not always the most consistent AWPer now, maybe past his prime. I think it's safe to say, but he still can pack a hell of a punch. But the Mongols will get their 4th round. It's been a scrappy half, back and forth throughout, but they're just hanging in there.
Did you catch the laugh that Cello was throwing in to that replay a round ago?
The high-pitched laugh, yes, I did. I heard it.
You got any thoughts? That was, for some reason, that just sounded particularly, you know, almost bordering on sort of evil villain type laugh. You know?
If he just twirled with his mustache, it would have been perfect, right? Like,
Exactly.
you know, get that, maybe a top hat as well. Although I'm not sure if they're allowed to wear hats, but maybe afterwards.
Yeah, like a white cat in a big reclining chair or something like that.
Right. A monocle, perhaps. Although, to be fair, he did get punished. 9-10 just slapped him out of midair to kick open the round, so...
True.
You know, good guys don't always finish last, I guess.
Monocles really have gone out of style. Don't see them nearly enough these days.
It does feel like it's a bygone era, right? Like from the 1800s, sort of like Victorian period, I guess.
Would it be against tournament rules if you had a monocle with a lot of zoom in it, like prescription level, and you just kind of, you know, you don't have to sit so close to the monitor, you can just kind of like look in one eye and you're just like, you're zoomed in already?
I can't imagine how much that would just wreck your vision, though, because it would be like having a sniper scope or something on one eye and the other one's just normal. But I guess some people do, you know, when they go to the opticians, they have different lenses for different eyes, right?
Yeah, that's exactly. I think we might be onto something. There might be a path here. 9-10 will start this round with a kill on Skulls. He's really not had a fun time so far. He was over on that A bomb site, and the Mongols, again, I must say, holding on pretty well. I do think 4 rounds maybe on the T side here. Disastrous, but it's a little bit less fun for sure. If they could get one more on board, I think we're looking into a very open game, which is exactly what we want. We want to see all the maps. We want this to be as close as possible because, just to reiterate, elimination is on the line here. So one of these 2 teams is going to get knocked out. Ooh, nice shot.
Shades of peak Fallen. Lovely shot to the head of Senzu. So it's both the AWPers that have opened up the round and broken the deadlock here. Just shy of a minute on the clock, and it seems that the Mongols are going to try and finish onto the A site. The bomb coming through. Plenty of grenades as well, although there's only 1 smoke, interestingly. You got Molotovs, but just the 1 smoke. I'm curious where they're going to throw this one.
Jungle, it seems. Oh, wait, did they have another one on the ground? They might have had another one. Yeah, I think there was one on the ground.
They picked up a second. Yep.
Still, that's a very deep one. You can just walk in front of that. I don't really understand that part of it. They are going to be keenly aware that someone could be at the top of the stairs, so they're not going to be overlooking it at the very least, but Techno with the entry here, 25 seconds left, and they should be able to pave a way for a bomb plant. It's Cello to go down after he gets the kill on the Techno. Trying to stop the bomb is Yuri. If he had, that could have easily been the round-winning play. Now it's back into a 2 versus 2 with 9-10 pretty far back with that AWP, and look at Massinio. Is he going to run all the way to the middle? That's a long way. No, okay, he's going to dive back to the ramp. So double ramp position events.
Yeah, through the 4 players very low as well. So feels like that next bullet connecting could just seal this round up. Plenty of defuse already gone. Fallen trying to get onto the bomb site, but it's out in the open and there's no smoke, no flash, no incendiary, nothing really to fend off the T's. However, the first pick goes in their direction. There's just not enough time now. Fallen is going to try and stick on to. He's picked up the defuse kit, tries to draw him out into the open, missing his shot. Mazinho will punish. Another super scrappy back and forth round, but it is the Mongols that come out victorious.
You said it, the lack of smoke there. Such an essential tool in that kind of an after plan, and unfortunately, they just didn't have it. So even if it's a 2-on-2, even if they know where the Mongols are, they can't put the pressure on them to swing for the fight they're early enough on. Well done, though, for the Mongols, in spite of some, again, I said, somewhat questionable smokes being thrown there towards that top connector and jungle position. It still all works out in the end. They're up to 5, and look at the money here for FURIA. There's a chance this could be even a 6th round for the Mongols, although they are right underneath with the MP9s just spraying away. Blitz not aware that Cello was going to be coming through, and for some reason he jumped through the smoke there. Seems dangerous, but they win that mid-fight in a big way. They're going to be upgrading some of these into AKs, and they've got the bomb on top. So bit of a disaster class here for Mongols, who, if they played a little bit more slowly, they would have definitely realized what was going on there. It's going to be another MP9 kill, just defeated by the sewing machines there.
I do love the call, though, from FURIA. This is something that Liquid just did not have in their locker yesterday, and we discussed it. It was like they called timeouts. They were getting hammered on their CT side, pardon me, and we were saying, where's the aggression? Where's the proactivity? They're just sitting back and hoping that they can get the opening frags, and it just wasn't happening for them. So FURIA, in this MP9 force buy in the last round of the half, go aggressive up mid with 3 players. Blitz had a bit of a nightmare. His spray was not on point, and they got punished for it. Skulls now deciding, like, let's keep the aggression going. 2 players pushing around the back of Techno, has no idea, no clue about what's about to happen. And now he finds out firsthand as Cello nails him. And FURIA will have a 2-round lead come the second half. Love that call from Fallen.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And it is kind of a classic, isn't it? When you don't really have the weapons or the utility, you try and settle the round before those factors really become too much of a problem. So, super well played. A little bit of frustration there. Mouse looks like it could be thrown across the room, maybe. Sort of in launch position almost. Careful now. Don't drop it, and we have to spend 20 minutes finding a new mouse.
Did you see earlier, I think it was Dexter, hit his desk as well?
No, I didn't.
Gave it a good smack.
Okay.
I feel so sorry for that guy right now.
He's got good reason to be frustrated. Yeah. I would say.
Agreed.
Oh man. Still, I think for the sake of the entertainment, this kind of a scoreline is great news. This is exactly what we want, because there's no, I mean, Mongols still perfectly in this game, and FURIA, to be honest, with 7 rounds, nothing has been decided. Like, they can still definitely end up in a tough position here. So I'm not too sad about it. Good to see Serato playing as well as he was in the first half. But they're gonna have a little bit more freedom now on the Brazilian side here. So we'll see if they can make something of it. What an enormous amount of utility. So they're gonna try and burn out, well, probably Shadow and the sandwich position, and then just going to go for it here. Could be a lot of problems here for Mazinho.
Yeah, there's not really much recourse, right? Like, he doesn't have a smoke to extinguish it. He doesn't have the opportunity to do much about it. But if you've got all that utility, use it. It's way too late. They push players in and get nailed before the smokes or mollies can do anything.
Nicely done, though. Shot here from Serato, but you are right. They didn't really manage to do too much behind the actual grenades. It's Yuri to take down Sensu at range, and the round is still alive here. What a flank coming through. And an execution shot coming out from Blitz. He's taking care of Yuri. It's just Skulls left, who's had a bit of a rough first half. 5 kills total, and he's not going to get a chance here as Blitz just keeps on pressuring him with that flank. Mongols win the pistol round, and that's a very nice setup once again. And also the fact that there's no bomb plant does make life a little bit tougher for FURIA, but yeah, they had the initial grenades, but really well played. Mazinho, he pushed in to try and put some pressure on Palace, and because he's not actually in Shadow, but up top of the ladder, he's just in such a better position.
I'm still mind-blown. Like, you have all these Molotovs, like you highlighted perfectly. It's like Mazinho's going to be in a world of hurt. There's only 9-10 there alongside him, and they push the first 2 players out without throwing anything. And it's like, guys, did you assume they were playing passive? Maybe like a 1-player retake? I mean, that is a possibility, but mean, the Mongols will take that all day, every day. No post plant in. It's the easiest of second rounds here for the Mongols. Best case scenario, realistically, is a bomb plant on A.
Yeah, that would be a nice luxury. And only really one MP9 in play, so there's kind of a buy for the Mongols. I think suggests to me that they are a bit worried about relying, you know, you end up in a position sometimes where you buy 3 MP9s in a round like this one, and then you also have to fight with 3 MP9s in the third round against a bunch of AKs. We just call those bonus rounds, and it's fine. You obviously know you have less of a chance to win them, but on a map like Mirage, it could be pretty awkward, right? On Inferno, you probably don't care so much about having a lot of MP9s on the CT side because you know all the fights are going to be, you know, pretty close. Some positions, the MP9 might even be an advantage, but I could see on a map like this one, maybe you just want the 5.7s, and you're not going to be too interested in getting too many SMGs in play. We'll see how it plays out because we're going to go into the next round. FURIA, no bomb plant at all, and yeah, pretty much to be expected here. They're going to have the AKs coming out, no AWP for obvious reasons. So yeah, they're going to be a mobile team. Let's see if they're going to be playing a slow style or a little bit quicker here. I'm curious about that because when we caught them on day 1, I believe, or on day 2, I guess, when they were playing Apogee, they were capable of both things, FURIA. They were pretty good at mixing it up, I think.
Yeah, that's where having an IGL as tenured and as experienced as Phil is going to be a massive bonus over some of the other teams in this tournament that are going through transitional phases. That's one thing he will always offer the team. And so I expect to see them shift gears a little bit here. Good early nade damage onto K-Serato. The timing for him was rough. Just a pixel off seeing the head though. Protruding up. Don't think he's going to get punished here, Senzu, with the FAMAS. He's okay for now. More damage done. This time it's an incendiary. Forces K-Serato out of position.
You're right. That really was just a pixel away. Dangerous position for Messinio right now. I feel like he's a little bit too out in the open for my liking. There is a smoke up on the A ramp, so I guess that's one of the reasons why, but just given how alone he is, easily they can put a lot of pressure on. Nice grenade around the corner. In fact, for the Mongols so far, they haven't really seen anyone yet, but they've managed to do quite a bit of damage, and that does even out the fight with the AKs and the FAMAS or even the M4s. People forget sometimes, you know, obviously dunk like a 45 damage grenade on someone is a great feeling, but sometimes just doing 20 damage can be just as good, because it just does mean you get the one-shot headshots in, so it's worth it at the end. Sub 40 seconds, smokes are going up, and this execute is not going to be drawn back. They're going to commit to this no matter what here, FURIA. First kill is going to be important, and for some reason it's actually a Molotov kill on Messinio, but 9-10 will try and bring it back here, jumping in for the flames. Skulls. He lost his mind. He's almost going to burn to that, but he will stay alive somehow. And it's a 2 versus 3. The bomb getting planted as well. And Techno at range. This is why those MP9s can be a bit of an issue in the afterplant. It's not going to be fun.
No doubt. They're going to be looking for Senzu. Fortunately, he has upgraded the MP9 to the A1S. With 18 bullets left in the magazine, more than enough to deal with a weakened Fury round the corner. Will shut him down. Pre-fires down to Shadow, but no one's home. It's actually on ramp, which he's now found out, but his teammate's gone down to the hands of Skulls, who now has the perfect angle on the approach to shut out this one. And finally, FURIA gets some success on their T side. It was so back and forth again, though. It looked as though the early damage that was done, that we were highlighting onto K-Serato in particular, would be enough, but as soon as that execute came in, it was one way, and that's with 9-10 posting up 2 massive kills on Connector.
It was the Molotov in the sandwich that ultimately killed Messinio there. That's got to be a frustrating feeling. But well done. Yeah, you're right. Early success here for FURIA is really, really important. Mongols still going to be able to put in a purchase in this one, but if you notice, they are lacking an enormous amount of utility. They do not have the defuse kit, so while the weapons look pretty impressive, and that could be enough, there is a chance that it's something else. And because they have 9-10 over at the B bomb site, it's allowing them for this, you know, huge stack towards the A bomb site. I think this is perfectly fine. I like it. Obviously comes with a big risk if 9-10 is going to be missing almost any bullets. He's going to get run down, but it looks like the stack might actually work out.
9-10's really been on point, though, so I think he's going to have full confidence in his own abilities. Coming into that last round, he had 5 opening duels, more than anyone else on the server, and by quite some margin. Whether it be rifles or the AWP, he was doing work on that T side, but it does put a lot of pressure here on him. It does allow the Mongols, though, to have a 4-player stack on the A side, and assume they should be able to hold the line. This push comes through. Shadow's going to betray Queserato, and Blitz will oblige accordingly, but he's kind of stuck now in connector. They may think that he's pulled back into the smoke, and it's going to catch Cello completely unaware.
Nice Molotov. Skulls gonna get that kill. They need a lot more here. Senzu trying to push out in front, but a great double for Skulls. Not sure it's enough, though, because Massinho just lines them up and fallen. Didn't really get a chance to answer back either. Yuri, they're gonna know where he is as well. Bomb is down there. He can't really do anything, and the sound being made dropping off, so all they have to do is wait. It's gonna be 9-10, like you said. He hasn't been missing that many shots. He's 14-9. And that's pretty much a rock-solid defense. The only moment there was when Skulls got the double kill that there was a chance, but it's pretty swiftly taken away. And the defense looking good. It's so important early on. Remember, they had no money, the Mongols. They had the weapons and almost nothing else. So they needed to win the round, and they actually keep 3 people alive, which is a critical detail.
Oh, yeah, for their finances, that's great news. Keeping the AWP as well, upgrading to a couple of AKs. A very sweet reward for success. And although it's 8-8, the Fury are now into an eco of their own. I'm very curious though, Anders, when they next get their hands on rifle rounds, will they try and probe over on that B side? Will the Mongols stack 4 players again on A? There's a lot of questions for us that will get answered momentarily, but this is going to be a little bit of a gimme for the Mongols. I'd be surprised if they lose more than 1 player in this round. Realistically, they should close it out pretty convincingly. There are some deagles in play for Furia, but the Mongols have no reason to really move much. They can play very passive. They know the economy is shattered for the Brazilians.
With the fact that 9-10 is now about the CT spawn with the AWP, and especially if they actually find out even if they don't have the weapons to fight him, that's not really the point. The point is, it's going to be very annoying on the T side, having to guess where that AWP is, which, as we've been highlighting throughout the last couple of days, it's a big reason why the AWP is such an important weapon, because it does make it a lot harder to call a bunch of strats. If you know where that AWP is at the start of the round for whatever reason, then you're gonna, there are a lot of strats you're gonna call away from it. You're just gonna say, oh, it's not really worth it, because there's always that chance that you just, turn the corner and you just blow up one of the players there. Nicely done. They only lose Blitz here. Really important stuff. So I think the fact that, if they can keep 9-10 in a new position more or less every round, for Furia, it's going to be a lot more frustrating. If they kept repeating the one-man B, 4-man A kind of stack, even if it is strong, eventually it's just going to be a bunch of mid-smokes and a catwalk rush to basically run the AWP down. It's not easy to deal with, but if you know it's going to be alone there, you definitely can do it.
100%. That's why I'm so curious. Like, how is Fallen calculating the current stature of the CT side's opening positions? This time it will not be 9-10 by himself. Instead, he's going to be playing in different spots. Up on middle, peering through on catwalk. Could be getting aggressive here, but he will be cognizant of an underpass peak in just a few moments' time. This exact position, it does have an expiry date, and those flashes now allowing Furia to at least fake as though a bit of control may come in. You can see now he's very aware of this. He's like, okay, I've had my moment, I have to back off.
Yeah, it's one of the harder things to get right. If you stick around for too long and you need the communication with your teammates to know, is anybody actually, are we 100% sure that no one snuck up out of that underpass? He's going to fall a little bit further back. I don't hate it at all. Queserato presumably is going to try catch rotation, so there are a lot of people that would have to rotate past Queserato right now. So if the rest of this A attack can work, having to run if you're 9-10 or if you're Senzu trying to make your way past that underpass position, it could be really, really awkward. So very interested to see how this one plays out. Massinho is again playing that shadow position, and I think Techno's going to end up playing a bit of an off angle inside of the bomb site, which is very hard to clear. If you're running into the site, you're going to be looking for jungle, and you're going to be looking for the top of stairs. So having to check Techno's position sometimes is very awkward. But it's only 27 seconds left. Here we go.
Just go straight in. They have to fully commit to this one. Massinho getting one kill is huge, but Yuri's there for 2. And it does allow Furia now the opportunity to push onto the site and get the plant in. Sure, there's plenty of damage done to multiple players, but with the smoke still down, it allows them to pull back out and get some decent post-plant positions in.
Oh, look at the double smoke here on the Mongols. I was going to say it's a hard retake with the AWP, but they actually have a lot of grenades to maybe get the job done, so it's not completely impossible, but they need to hurry. Don't know if there's a kit on the ground, and if not, then they almost are running out of time already. They get the 1 kill here, but if it's a 10-second defuse, that's not going to be easy. 9-10 gets dropped by Skulls, and You could hear that bomb just ticking away in the back. There is a kid right in front, so they do have the opportunity, but it will be denied. Yuri instead, a quad kill as he picks up 19 in total. You said it earlier, Vince, and he is having a fantastic game.
Yeah, man. The last 2 kills are rock solid, but it's those opening 2 entries he picks up with time of the essence. It's these 2 here. That was the moment that gave FURIA an opportunity, and then it's fitting that it goes full circle with that 4K, like you mentioned. A huge individual moment that gets FURIA into a 9-9 scoreline. And again, because so many of these rounds have been down to the wire, the MongolZ economy is not ideal. They can get a buy together, but they're basically putting all of their dollars, all of their cents into this round and pretty much going all in. If they lose this, FURIA are on the fast track to potentially taking the map pick of the MongolZ.
I mean, I don't want to really second-guess what Techno was doing in the round, but I thought what he was going to do was actually try and bait out his teammates a little bit more and play that position in the corner a lot more passively, because you're not wrong. What Yuri did with the double opening is super sick, but it's also only possible for him to get the kill on Techno because Techno is sort of swinging into that fight. And you know, that off angle at the box is just, it's so awkward when you're trying to check everything else. I thought that's what was going to happen, but yeah, Techno a little bit more aggressive. Obviously wanted to help out Basilio. You can't really fault him for that, I guess. Yuri is in the middle, and the rest of them are ready to go. If he gets anything done in here, they're going to be able to explode onto that B-bomb site right away, but he really wants to know if there's anyone on the catwalk before they do, because if not, there is a chance there's a straight double setup, which it is. But this is not going to be that easy to break in MongolZ. They actually have a pretty decent position, but they lose Techno before anything happens, and at least Senzu alone somehow still getting the kill. I can't explain why. Surely he's going to be dead soon. Blitz gets one on the cello. How are they actually getting this defense through?
It's wild, man. No one checking up on the balcony, and then they just get caught in this clothesline from 2 MP9s up close, just spitting out bullets. And although Yuri may try his best, he nearly picks up a couple kills. Instead, he gets shut down by Senzu on his 3K. And now Fallen can do little but wait and maybe try and hold on to this AWP. This round is done. It's so difficult to see how he'll get anything out of this.
Yeah, it really is. Oh man, for FURIA, I love the idea of having Yuri in the middle to begin with. I feel like he never got a chance to get any real information about the round. He was there, and they just decided to go straight for the execute. And like I said, there's already 2 people there. It's a really big choke point on the map when you're trying to come out of those B apartments. And still, they actually did a really fine job because they got the kill on Techno, and somehow the MP9s were just way too much. The MongolZ getting away with a lot in this round, in my opinion. They could have easily lost it here. Just one more kill going their way, and I think FURIA have the round. But instead, we're looking at a 10-9 scoreline. This is beautiful. I mean, again, elimination on the line. I love it when it's this close. And the MongolZ, it's their map pick. It's looking good, but not at all settled yet.
Something that will be a bit of a concern for FURIA, although Yuri has really stepped it up. Remember back in the first half, K-Serato had like 13, 14 kills coming out of the first half. He's only on 16 right now. And when I say only, like 16 is a bad number, of course, it's still really solid. The point is he's had almost 0 impact on this T half. That could be a serious issue.
I don't disagree. Especially when it's this close, you need a little bit more. You need 10% more out of one of your players, and suddenly everything changes. Here, Blitz is going to be dead. It's a nice boost, and he's not afraid to take the fight there. Senzu does lake him, but that could have been a kill for Fallen. Bomb picked up now in T spawn, and they still have skulls over in the palace. This weapon is really all they have, but because they got that early kill, I mean, imagine if Fallen had got the second one, then the round is pretty much wide open, but it's not going to be easy to find a way in this round. Just one player over at the B bomb site in Techno, and the rest on A with not necessarily a ton of information, so it might just be down to Techno. He's got an incendiary. They do have a smoke. If they just smoke out the incendiary, I think they might win this.
Yeah, it really does shut down prowess and sort of the push. But Techno instead decides, I'm just going to spray bullets in your face. Takes one, backs off. Problem is now, though, that they close the gap and maybe the noose on top of it, but Techno comes in with a second, switching to that sidearm, and a third as well. He may have had a slow game so far, but an individual performance that should yield the round now for the Mongols in such a critical moment in this game. And although Skulls and Fallen have pushed out, they're both so low.
Absolutely right. They just don't have the space for it either. And no time. Well done. Techno. What a sickening defense. I do love the fact that he sort of, you know, just said, never mind the incendiary and just took the fight with the rifles instead. Right before he actually pulled out the AK, for a long time, he was just jumping with the incendiary in hand. So I was pretty sure he was just going to, you know, be playing the defense for the incendiary, but, you know, rifles generally do a better job. So really well played. So another lead coming in here. MongolZ now at 11-9. And FURIA starting to feel the stress a little bit here. They didn't have a lot going into the round, and again, like it could have worked if they could have found Techno very early on in that one. But they're running into a lot more trouble than I think they expected in the second half.
Yeah, they've run into a bit of a brick wall here, a fortress. And although there has been a couple of gaps here and there, FURIA unable to fully exploit them. Finish line tantalizingly close, but it's the Mongols that are picking up the pace. Will be full AKs with the one Galil thrown in for good measure, and enough utility to make a real go of this, but this feels like the last chance for FURIA to potentially take the first map. Again, elimination beckoning. This is a 1 and 2 matchup. 3 L's and you are out of here. So FURIA, their tournament lives dangling by a thread.
Yeah, for both teams, I think kind of disastrous. Like we said, some teams that show up here, you know, it's great to play to get the experience. You know, I guess in Payne's case, they have a stand and everything, but for FURIA and the Mongols, this is the real deal. You need to prove that you could do something and that you're not just going to get swiped before you even get to the playoffs. It really does make a massive difference here. 9-10, ready. Smoke blown open by a teammate. Lovely little idea. A lot of mid-presence for FURIA, so this makes it a very dynamic kind of a round where you can make some mid-round calls if you're fallen. All you need is one entry, one good opening, and you're going to be good to go. Flash around the corner, and he's so blind, Senzu! I was going to say he should be dead every single time, and he absolutely is as well. Picks up the AWP, and very nearly hits the flick onto Blitz. He actually did do some damage there. 9-10, not enjoying the wall bang. You can see the bullets are just whizzing through the box. How is he doing this dance? Is he just reading the Matrix code directly? He's dodging every single bullet.
Finally goes down. Agent Smith in this Matrix, he wins. Rest in peace. Neo, AK-910. Mazzinho and Blitz, though, still have a chance. 25 seconds left. 2 weakened players, and the timing could not be sweeter for Mazzinho. He's had a really good game. 16 kills to his name. 20 seconds in case Serrato trying to make moves up on the ramp. Does have one of those AWPs. It was a double AWP setup coming into this round for the Mongols, so they put a lot of money, a lot of investment, and they need to see a return on that investment. 9 seconds, and there could be a nice little windfall for them. It's Mazzinho once again. Yuri with 4 seconds has no chance, no time, no health. The Mongols with 3 map points.
Whew, yeah, like you said, absolutely no time. What a long battle that was from that connector position. But the Mongols now with a great opportunity to make it all work here, and that's in spite of a fantastic entry. Serrato very nearly got the flick. If he could have had that, it might have been all over. 9-10 stayed alive for such a long time. But yeah, this is too much to deal with at the end. They just didn't have the time to take those fights in a good way. Now, Vince, I want your thoughts on a little topic here. One of our lovely Twitch chat users, he had a comment for the game. In all caps, he said, "South NACS is dead. Keck W." South NACS.
So South North America. What's it like Texas? Texas Counter-Strike's dead, is it?
You're right. You're on something. Okay. Well,
that's bad news considering the next major's in Texas. So
that's a good point.
R.I.P. CS2, I guess. Valve get wrecked again.
Yeah, it's great analysis though. I love the insight. Skulls, a very advanced position, and it's a sick play, and he was so close to making it work. Blitz down to 12 health. It absolutely could have worked out, and that might have given FURIA a chance to fight for overtime. But now it's significantly less likely. they've got to be careful. And look at Senzu. He's pushed up very close, holding a forward angle. He can actually see the buttocks of Fallen, sends him down, and it's 9-10 across the map to shut down Cello. Oh dear.
It's looking bad. K-Strider, though, is going to give them a chance. Hasn't had much impact on this T-half. Now would be a great time, but Techno's going to silence him in more ways than one. Oh, and he's gone in for another one. He had such a slow start to this game, but now it falls upon the grizzled veteran's shoulders of Fallen with just the 25 HP, and Techno puts the final nail in the coffin. One map away from elimination are FURIA, as MongolZ pick up their choice of Mirage.
Wow, again, I mean, you said it right from the start, Vince. We're watching two teams that are sort of on opposite trajectories with the reverse sweep and avoid elimination. Man, it's going to have to be some really hard Counter-Strike going to be played here. Fist bumps are coming out. That's always a good sign. So let's just get into the action here. Second map is right away. And I'm assuming it's going to be FURIA that will be starting on that CT side as well. So let's see how this plays out.
Yeah, we'll have to have a quick gander across. It's going to be FURIA on the T side.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's their choice of map, so I think MongolZ would have gone CT,
right,
which does put a lot more pressure on FURIA as well. You know, like it's easy to run into a bit of an issue, especially early on if you're not getting early success. And breaking that economy on the CT side, things can go pear-shaped real quick. So outside already, FURIA taking a little bit of control. Cello out there on red container, Yuri up on the top of main, and now they're going to be exploding in. Ooh, 9-10 getting nothing out of that trade.
I do like the idea of launching somebody from that mini roof and just sort of, you know, taking a dive down here. It's a very aggressive move, and it does make it very hard for the CTs to rotate around, especially if they're dead, like Blitz down below. There is a rotation coming in from Messinio, but he's the only one here to try and stop the madness. The bomb's surely going to be planted. I actually love it. Cello saying, I'm just going to leave it alone, but some strong headshots. He has to come back and fight now. Oh my god, Messinio, he thought the bomb was still being planted because he saw Cello dive for it. He thought, all right, he's definitely going to try and plant in the corner, and now they're going to try and see if they can... Wait a minute. He ran like he was going to escape. They're playing so many mind games. Cello is 10 steps ahead right now of Techno. 1 versus 3. He's out in the open, running in. He should never have a chance here. He walked down to 1 bullet, trying to get the reload, and finally, they get him in the ground. Cello with a quad kill at the end. But more than that, the movement and the mind games absolutely wrecked the MongolZ.
That was so close to being the Techno 3K at the end, man. K-Strider was on 10 HP, and he was up on ramp. He was in a horrible position for low HP. And this just really facilitated off Messinio landing 2 crazy headshots back-to-back. Allowing this to maybe take shape. Didn't quite work out, but a valiant attempt. However, the perfect start as far as FURIA are concerned. They've got the first round in their hands. They've taken the MongolZ out of their comfort zone on the CT side. They've got to make sure they exploit this.
Yeah, it's really, really important. Map pick of theirs, and you win the pistol, even if it took a lot. Keep it going. 5-7 is here. Scout onto 9-10. Classic position, I would say, for the 5-7 to get a really fast double kill. It's going to be Blitz on the other side with the MP9, and almost had a double of his own. Techno, he takes one again at that range. The 5-7 is just a beast. Senzu gets a deagle, and FURIA, he said they needed to make a lot out of this, but so far it's crumbling in their hands. Yuri's the only one with any real health here. Disastrous moment for FURIA as Fallen tries to dive down the vent, but tragically, you do have to be alive to plant the bomb, so not going to happen.
Bruh. Just as I was saying, it's the best possible start for FURIA. Now it's turned into the worst possible start because your economy straight up in the sewers. The MongolZ upgrading to multiple weapons, getting themselves a really good stranglehold on the economy. Tons of SMG kills thrown in as well. Oh dear, FURIA. That is a horrendous start to this game. And I think it was, what, 3 players survived for the MongolZ as well, so...
Yeah.
Oof. Forced buy-in for FURIA. A scout on the T side of Nuke. Good luck, Fallen.
Yeah, that is a certified bro moment, unfortunately. Deep breath now. FURIA. Best way to get over that kind of round is to just do the same thing to your opponents again. Flash doesn't really help that much, but the follow-up absolutely will. So Messinio going to get pushed a little bit away from that position. And there's still plenty of time, so you can park a couple of players here and ramp if you want to with FURIA. You don't have to just rush in there. They are going to speed it up anyway, trying to see if they can overwhelm this B defense. Doesn't seem like that's going to be happening anytime soon, or as I say that, Skulls gets the kill on Mazinho. The MP9 alone was doing such good work that I thought maybe the M4 was going to be able to chime in, but that turned out not to be the case. 3 versus 3, Senzu ends up going down, and Techno gets dropped as well. I don't know how the pistols are so efficient. That's a P250, by the way, to take down Techno. Leaves 9-10 with very little health and just has to walk away. But what a wacky start we have, Vince.
Yeah, picking up from where we left off on Mirage. Entertaining, exciting, not the cleanest to Counter-Strike, but who gives a damn? And just as we're talking about how horrendous the start is from FURIA, well, they've now returned the favor. 9-10's going to be able to hold on to the M4, but this is where those kills in the previous round on being on a pretty low investment with MP9s really helps, because with a saved weapon, Senzu and Blitz will be able to buy, more than likely, like a FAMAS or at least an M4, maybe dip down to SMGs if they want to. They can come back in with a buy here, so it's not as if FURIA have entirely broken the economy of the Mongols just yet, assuming this M4 survives, which looks like it will. But yeah, you're kind of scratching your head, like how the hell they came into the round with basically Tech 9s and a scout. Like, how have the Mongols lost this? That's wild.
Yeah, Tech 9s and a scout, and then on top of that, you take ramp, you count to 5, and then you keep going to the B bomb site. It's not like there's any surprise, right? There's nothing special is happening from like a tactical point of view. So just a bit shocking perhaps that they weren't able to do more, especially this Blitz. This start here is so much damage. Like, that should probably be the round, but credit to Skulls for making that Tech 9 just sing. And I guess also this particular play there from Yuri, that, I mean, it's just a whole cascade of weird events that end up being the downfall of MongolZ here, and they could definitely feel it too.
That makes a bit more sense seeing it from the perspective of the replay. You saw Mazinho was basically dangled on the edge of a fishing rod, and Techno baited him out there. He was slightly too late on that approach. They needed to peek together, and that would have made a big, big difference. So again, we're talking about them not quite being on the same wavelength entirely, the Mongols. They're not playing their A game, and those are the kind of moments where it shines very bright what the problems are.
Yeah, I think that's important to pick up. Small detail, but it does say something about the team. Oh my god, so much damage at the beginning. You mentioned it, they saved the one M4, they're able to pick up another one, and back we go. The circus continues. Why not? We go. And I'm just imagining the players with like clown shoes making like, clown noises every time they walk. It has been just such a strange opener to the map. Yuri 1 HP, K-Serot at 22 as the observer is showing us the bomb is just out in the open. That is a death trap, and FURIA not falling for it. They're going to try and save their weapons, but I mean, again, credit to the Mongols. 9-10 with a couple of beautiful shots outside with the A1S, but this is the importance of saving in moments like this. You don't have a chance in the previous round, you keep that A1S, you put it to use, you give your team an opportunity with some more rifles to get it done, and they succeed, and Yuri will not save this weapon. Oh, that is horrendous. K-Serot doesn't necessarily even want to show his hand right now. And now he will pick up the kill, but the problem with doing that is he's given his position away, and the Mongols may want to try and charge him down with their 3 players left. I mean, you know this AK is going to be the threat in the next round. You've got to be careful you don't all go before this, you know, when there's still time for him to win the round, but apart from that, I definitely would agree. Just try and see if you get this AK out of his hands. Awkward timing there. Techno going to be there to pick it up, so it's worth it in the end. No AK survives, and back and forth we go. Quite a taxing way to start a second map like this one. I think sometimes, if it's a really long best of 3, if we go to a third map, we throw in a bit of overtime. The first map was already pretty close. Having this kind of back and forth is the kind of stuff that just depletes a team, a little bit quicker than maybe it would have otherwise. Because for both sides, really, you're not allowed to play sort of your normal game where, like, where's the normal rifle rounds? What's the strategy that we discussed coming into it? We did a lot of research, let's try and do some of that, but it's all the time this weird, this war of attrition that's going on. It's like this economic game of chicken, who's going to blink first? In this case, who is not going to fail first in a rifle round, and it's downstairs, just pushing straight into Mazinho. They're going to plant the bomb with everyone alive. I don't know how. They got the double vent drop with nobody noticing, in spite of the fact that there was an auto shotgun up on the hut. What a shot from Fallen. Explodes Techno's skull, and now it's down to another 3 versus 4. And speaking of skulls, he's here with a MAC-10. Unfortunately, that's not going to get anything done. Auto shotgun finding a bit of success and being upgraded into an AK. Nobody checking the smoke either. So Massinio wanted to get his hands on that bomb, but not going to be allowed. And it's already ticking quite far. There is a kid on Sensu, but he's not really nearby at the moment. Going to be a shot coming through. There we go, running straight to the bomb, and Yuri sneaking in. The smoke isn't covering him. He gets it, and all he has to do is escape and stay alive here. I'm going to say maybe he could have run with the AWP, but 910 actually jumps into the fight. There was no chance he could have defused the bomb at that point, so might as well have run away. What an absolute mad game this has turned into.
It's turned into a mad game, but also, like, what is that smoke? You know that you need to put it more towards decon or double doors. Like, you're putting it into the corner. There's no way... You know when Nuke had that window and door in the corner? Maybe then for that kind of position, but not now. It didn't even cover him. It was the easiest kills of Yuri, and he's almost like looking at the screen in disbelief. It's like, what are they doing?
Classic ostrich smoke, just sticking his head into the smoke. The rest of him sticking out, unfortunately. Oh no. 3-2. Well, what have the Mongols got for us? Could we have an even crazier round? I'm all in for this. Well, okay. It's not exactly the grenade that we were looking for. Doesn't cost him anything, I guess, fortunately. Listen, there's always, this is, you know, fundamental, isn't it? There's always more clowns in the car than you're expecting, right? But they can't keep coming out. But they can. Oh, here we go. Blitz. Yeah, do it. He's going to turn around and drop Cello. I just don't know anything about Counter-Strike anymore, I guess. I forgot what's happening.
I think it's probably best watching this game that we don't know anything.
Yeah.
Because our brains won't melt so much. Yuri, though, is at least going to put this back into a position. I mean, that would be fun. If they do win this round, the Mongols, that would be, what, 5 rounds in a row where the worst buy is won?
Yeah, you've got to get ahead of the curve and try, like, go into the next round with knives, you know. See, maybe there's like a, maybe there's a logic, maybe there's some rule set to this. Just try and get worse weapons than the other teams. You'll find a way somehow. Senzu taking out Yuri. They're going to upgrade. But again, even the upgrades aren't that good because nobody has any money ever in this game right now. They're living under that new tariff regime where it's just all completely wrecked at the moment.
The global economy slipping into CS2 as well. We can't afford rifles, but still somehow make it work. Wait, is this going to be the first time that the team is on full Glocks? Have FURIA even got enough money to support Deagles or anything at all? Honestly, I'm like so cooked in my brain, I'm not even sure what the economic standing of these two teams is right now.
It is looking really bad for FURIA in terms of that. I kind of really bad them what I want them to do it, you know. Yes, here we go. Tech 9s. I'm so excited. Do whatever you can. Craft some guns out of, if you've got any, you know, wood or granite lying around. It's just, you know, just makeshift them. You know, you got to make it up somehow. Use rubber bullets if you have to. It doesn't even matter. 3-3. The game is somehow tied up. I'm not going to try and summarize why that is. Just accept it for what it is. And watch this next round. Number 7. Scout outside here for 9-10. Smoke is going to be going up, and you don't really have that many grenades to blow open the smokes with, which is a critical component of holding yard. But it seems like FURIA are going to elect to go push in front of it. Oh, this could be sick, actually. They might be able to trade this one out. Senzu in trouble already. And now the madness returns to the round. It's Cello to get the kill, and 9-10 already feeling the heat up here. Doesn't want to peek that too far. Smoke goes up. He actually runs into it, but he had no more bullets. What was the plan? 9-10. Were you going to get a triple kill with one deagle shot?
Hurling insults at them, I guess, was the plan. It didn't work, though. They couldn't even hear him. And now Blitz still alive. Still time on the clock to try and push through this smoke, but it's so irritating. He's getting smothered by it, and now he realizes time has run too dry. He has to pull the plug and back out, and that is yet another round. 6 rounds in a row where the pistols have beaten the rifles.
The ultimate clown play has to be just saying bang bang when your gun has no more bullets.
The finger guns.
Oh, save me. What am I watching? You know, bizarrely, it's working out for FURIA in the sense that, you know, they're getting T rounds right now, which can be definitely hard to do. Obviously, the first team to win 2 in a row here is going to be in such an insane position. So FURIA, they're dreaming of it right now. Again, to take it back to a little bit more of a serious state, it is elimination for FURIA if they lose this map. So pick this one up, find a way to power through, and you're going to be set up pretty nicely.
Anticipate everything in this game, ladies and gentlemen. It has been a bloodbath. Confusing. Carnage and crazy. But FURIA do have the lead, and I completely agree with you. Like, you're going round for round, blow for blow, basically. It's always going to favor the T's on a map like Nuke. Not so much Anubis, which would be up next, but definitely on this. Blitz is coming up, though. They could line up for him. Oh, and he's going to spray down, but only gets the 1. He'll feel like he should have got at least 2 from that trade.
Just inexplicable, isn't it? You're absolutely right. They were just completely lined up at a very minimum of double, but I mean, possibilities of a triple even. That's going to be a frustrating experience. But on the upside, he did also get a bit of information, right? He's going to be able to get a count on how many people are out there to relay that into his team. Smoke up, and might mean they're going to be wrapping around, so they might just keep going towards hell. 9-10 is here, but it's just with a scout. A lot of damage, but an instant return. The Galil to find 9-10, and with 45 seconds, the round is back on here for FURIA. They've got the 1-man advantage. Looks like they're going to be just marching forward. The bomb is trailing a little bit behind, so got to be careful about that. 35 seconds now as Fallen goes down, and the Mongols, but they can still win this round. We're just going to have another one of these, I think.
Certainly, especially considering Mazzinho's position. He's going to hear every footstep as well. The MP9 this is really where it does prevail most of the time, especially in the hands of someone like Mazzinho that is so surgical with those headshots. Double for him. Skull shut down from the Galil, and Mazzinho, who gets himself a 4K, up to 10 frags. And we continue this war of attrition.
Yeah, the fact that I like the wraparound, but you are right. At some point, it becomes really telegraphed when they're stepping the whole way through. They're making a lot of noise, but excellent mechanics. Mazzinho, I mean, this is what he's known for, obviously. Such a solid rifler. Well, tied up once again. Also, there's no bomb plants or anything. More Tech-9s are coming back into it. The Mongols now, well, for their side, with a fantastic opportunity. The AWP has been picked up now, no longer a scout, and they're going to go for that ramp position. It's Mazzinho that's here with the Galil. He's got a lot of bullets to work with. It might actually be one of those positions where the Galil is kind of nice to just try and shut it down. See if they can find a way through. Only helmets on 2 players, so the Galil could actually do quite a bit now. But he's not going to stick around to find out. He will give up the position. 9-10. Doesn't want to fall back, and I couldn't explain why.
Especially when he has no one there to help him. Like, typically you do a bait and switch if you're going to try and watch onto the elbow side. You have a rifle up close, so your op takes a shot, backs off, and then you bait them into a false sense of security. But just putting himself in a position there where it's so easy for him to get stampeded, and suddenly the Tech-9 up close is going to deal fatal damage to Mazzinho and Blitz. FURIA again with Tech-9s. Again with a lack of weaponry. Are looking good to take this round. And although Senzu will shut out K Serato, he still has Fallen and Yuri to contend with.
Senzu, can you get us off this back and forth train by clutching this one? You need to go for the quad kill clutch, opening up the door, definitely reveal his position. They probably knew already. And Yuri, I think it's an automatic win being here. I don't see him easily being able to actually make it out of the doorway. Already shut down. Fallen, this time with a triple, 2 of them with a Tech-9. Is it possible, Vince, that they just coordinated this beforehand? Is this some sort of elaborate joke that these 2 teams are playing? Yeah.
Oh, man. I mean, at this point,
why is
the
he
way
here?
this game has been going, yeah, I really can't figure that one out.
Mazzinho has fallen back, like very audibly, and way before this happened. So when your rifle player on the ramp falls back, why would you want to be up close with the AWP? It just does not make any sense. My brain can't comprehend it.
Yeah, you're almost inviting yourself to get just rolled over and overpowered. It is such a strange decision. Maybe they're a bit flustered because of the nature of how this game has been. It's so ridiculous. I would imagine it's easy to kind of get like out of your concentration, you know, like kind of be thrown out a little bit. Maybe some tilt creeping in, not sure, but what we do know is the Mongols have yet another force buy, and they have an M4, a couple MP9s, and a couple of pistols. And Mazzinho, he's going up into heaven.
Yeah, you can't hear the Tech9s coming close because the Benny Hill theme is playing in the background or too loudly. You're like, oh god, what's happening? Can't hear a thing. God,
That's gonna play in my nightmares tonight.
Exactly. Just wake up in cold, sweating in your head. What's happening? All right, Techno is probably gonna get crushed right here. They're really, really close by. Messinio not able to do much of anything, but they are delayed just a bit. Smoke actually sort of reveals that they kind of know that someone's here. Fallen's the one to go down instead. Furia, they've such an advanced position up on the heaven there, but they're not doing anything with it. Skull's gonna go down. Smassinio with a double on the Deagle. Can't make sense of anything. You have two players in heaven with, you know, even if the CTs know what an insanely powerful position to be in if you're on the T side, and somehow they convert that into exactly nothing.
Well, this map may be incredibly confusing, but Mazzinho is having one hell of a game. 13 kills, so instrumental in multiple of the Mongols' forced by wins. And I was looking into the stats a little bit because he is synonymous with being a headshot machine, right? And so you typically think of, like, Xantares is up there. Rain is also a very good player for headshots. But when I looked at the percentages here, Anders, it's actually insane. Mazzinho has a 67% headshot percentage when it comes to fragging. To put that in perspective, Xantares is on 58.9. That is an absurdly high percentage of headshots.
He's also been playing with, you know, MP9s, or in this case, you know, the Deagle. So just to keep that up when you're spraying with something like an MP9, it just seems like it should never be happening. But yeah, you're right. He's been playing a monstrous game right now. The back and forth continues as we just can't return to normal Counter-Strike. I mean, at this point, it's too late anyway. We're in the 11th round. We're at the end of the half almost. So now none of it really matters. The whole idea, what if you win 2 in a row? It doesn't matter. Just keep forcing throughout the entire half. Why don't you? I mean, even if you lose this round, you're Furia, you're obviously forcing into the next one anyway because there's no more rounds left. This time, MongolZ maybe finally going to win another round here.
It's the bomb that goes down first as well, Anders. They push the bomb outside of hut first. Oh, it's in a horrible spot. It looks like this might be the first time in the map, and do correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure this would be the first anti-eco punish or anti-force buy punish that a team has successfully had as we move into round 11.
Finally, a consecutive round. Something that looks like regular Counter-Strike. Yuri, obviously, not much he could do right now. I actually think in a really good world, if he found a kill and saved the rifle, would be probably the better choice for him. Because, you know, obviously, weirdly, their round loss bonus is also like they've been winning and losing and winning and losing. So it's a super strange position to be in here. 6-5 as we're in round number 12. In one of the weirder games I've been able to cast in a really long time.
Definitely echo that sentiment. It has been a wild ride. Mirage was like pretty clean. Yeah, there were a couple of mistakes here and there, but things went about as you'd expect in the buys, the ecos. This has been anything but. However, there is an opportunity for the Mongols now to extend to a 7-5 lead. I don't know if they'd be happy with that, all things considered, the way that this game has gone. But Furia are going to pick up the pace, and they do get the opening pick onto Techno.
Yeah, he was just not ready for it, and you have to be. I don't know why you would ever be there without having the gun out and absolutely ready to fight, but they're still doing a great job getting back into it. Smoke up on the high ground there just to try and see if they can maybe slow them down. Yuri and Keserato, they're jumping right through. Very scary stuff. I don't know why they're coming for the smoke. No bomb's been planted. Keserato, double on the Tech9, 9-10, trying to hold it, but he can't. Yuri takes him down, and it will be a 6th round for Furia, where the MongolZ decide that the best course of action is to jump through that smoke, in spite of the fact that they had a 4-on-2 and there was no bomb plant, there was no pressure. In theory, they could have waited out the entire smoke and still probably just gone for the defuse without any real stress. So I'm so confused. What a first half this has been.
Yeah, you can't say that there hasn't been a lot to discuss, a lot to digest about this game. Ridiculous. 6-6 come the end of the half. Players deep in thought, pensive on the side of the MongolZ, but they have the opportunity to return the favor now on the second pistol round. Again, Mazzinho and pistol rounds go hand in hand. His aim mechanics are so perfectly tailor-made for these kinds of positions, so wouldn't be surprised. I think he got 2 in the first pistol on the side of the MongolZ. We'll see if he can do any better this time.
I mean, just again to reframe where we are in the match here. This is elimination on the line for FURIA, having lost the first map already. They are very, very close to getting knocked out. So having this much of a chaotic start where you can kind of really get your game up and running, got to be a little bit frustrating, but at the same time, they get up to 6 rounds. So they're probably going to, yeah, you can see they're pretty excited right now, fighting to keep South NACS alive at the moment. And so Messinio, he's sparing the desk at least. That's good news.
Yeah, we've had a couple of incidents with the desk today. No surprise it's the Falcons. May surprise you which player it was, though.
It's spreading. It's contagious.
True. They actually sit next to each other as well, I think, so...
Desk slammeritis. So,
yeah.
Terrible condition.
So if it does spread, the next game you'll see Kixan kick his table, punch it, whatever. How they stuck downstairs already? 9-10's downstairs. No information gathered by FURIA either. They have no idea about this.
Okay, they're going to push the ramp. I was going to say, are they going to try and open the door on top at the same time? But that's not going to happen. They're just going to try and go for it here. And I like it. Yuri going down very early on. Fallen. Yeah, going to get a chance to reload, but he's under a lot of pressure. You can see sandwiched in. Not at all fun back there. I'm shocked that he's living for as long as he is. Nobody's coming for him either. He's only the captain of the team, guys. You know, just let him be alone there. It's fine. Don't try and help him.
A mutiny, perhaps.
Well, there is the whole captain going down with the ship thing, right? So I guess that's, you know, it's like... Don't put on the hat if you're not ready. Nice kill outside as well. Kind of funny. Cello alone, and there's not a single casualty on the Mongol side.
It's that man again. It's Messinio. He may have only got one, but he got the first kill onto ramp, which really isolated Fallen on that back box. There it is, Yuri. Much cleaner, much better looking round for the Mongols. I thought for a second that Blitz was going to get dirty with a knife, but he decided against that decision. Took the kill where he could, and the Mongols now forcing FURIA into a pretty rough pie. But I mean, I'm not taking anything for granted here, Anders.
No. Let's just not make any predictions. Let's just keep an open mind, you know, just kind of bear witness to what's happened really more than anything else.
Just let events unfold. Nature take its course.
Yeah.
The concern is Skull's on 3 kills right now. That's not ideal.
I feel like it's not the first time that we've seen this either. Not to try and point the finger too much, but I remember a couple of maps that we casted already where it felt like Skulls was, you know, lacking in output. So that's a bit of a shame right now. They need everything they can get. K-Serato is still playing really well. Cello and Yuri are chiming in there, but Fallen and Skulls at the moment, we're gonna have to see something more. And I mean, again, they don't have the runway to like get slowly into the second half. It really has to be quick.
It would be a peak for how this game has gone if FURIA were to hold the line with this weaponry. And the Mongols, they're not doing themselves too many favors by playing this much time off the clock. They need to start to make a decision.
There's not a single defender on the A-bomb side. Now, we've got one guy jumping in, but that is not going to be enough to hold it. It's just going to be a very late A-take. Scout coming in, like really a 5-7 and a scout. Maybe, I guess. Techno goes down early. Skulls, he's going to get another one. They have left it very late in the hour to actually try and get onto this A site. Fallen tacks up another one. 10 seconds left. He's going to get a shot on the Blitz, and the round will go their way. The Mongols, you know, they needed a nap, and I can respect that. The floor there in lobby is not the most comfortable, but, you know, if you're used to a hard bet, I guess it can make for a nice resting place.
Oh my, what were they waiting for? Like, were they expecting a lobby crunch maybe late on, maybe an over-rotation? But you're playing with 15 seconds left with no information. It's like, yes, the site was clear as you highlighted, but eventually FURIA are going to plug that gap when it gets down to 20 seconds. I have no idea what the hell that call was from Blitz.
Here we go, okay. Ramp rushes in, Yuri under a little bit of trouble here, but actually, excellent double kill. They are going to give over that AK, but who cares? They've got the man lead. This is where you want to see some leadership out of Fallen. Everybody take a deep breath. Don't go fighting, just don't lose this. You've got the man advantage here. Techno will take down Quesorato. There's no bomb plant. You're not in a hurry to take this battle. Cello, gonna open it up. That's okay, but just don't commit to it here. We need communication out of the side of Furia. This is critical.
Bomb plant down. Mazzinho with the AK. Techno with the A1S. In decent positions. Now, they don't have anything in terms of grenades, like blockading off with a molly or a smoke. And there's tons of util for Furia. But they still need to move into position. Fallen now just getting down the vents. A third of the timer already ticked away. They do have the one kit. It's in the hands of Cello, and he's gone down first on Decon. Surely not again. Another pistol round. The Shadow betraying Fallen, but he still somehow holds on, and there's the final frag. They have the kits. They should have enough time for the defuse, and Furia bringing a bit more sanity onto the server.
It's so unbelievably close. That first shot that Mazzinho hit in the afterplant, it looked to me like he was walking the other way on the radar, but fair enough. Nicely done for Furia. And it's close this round, but at least they slow it down. At least there's something like regular. Right, that's the one click on Cello there. At least they managed to communicate. They managed to talk to each other about what they're actually doing instead of just a bunch of people fighting all on their own. So bomb was planted for MongolZ, which means they're going to be able to afford another force up into this one. But Furia, it's a big step in the right direction. If they can shut this next one down, they might be in a prime position to pick up Nuke and force that third map on Anubis.
Yeah, they just have to repel a couple of ecos, force buys in such a good spot. And although Skulls, a couple of rounds ago, we were talking about 3 frags, he's doubled up to 6. Good news on the side of Furia. They got all 5 players together, united as an overall force, but Techno takes a little bit of damage through the smoke. It's not going to stop MongolZ from pushing forward. It's so rough, though. Like, they're throwing in their mollies there. They've got smokes as well coming in. But Furia have 3 players up here on the A site, and a fast rotation is available. Skulls has been spotted, but throws the molly down.
It's first to get deleted here. Nice attempt to try and see if he can wrap around that mini position. It does open up for the rest of the team. If he would have had that kill there, he could have allowed the rest of the team to get out of the squeak door and towards the A-bomb side. Not going to be the case. 40 seconds here. They've got ramp, but doesn't really matter. Furia, they don't need to do anything. They've already got 2 people down below. They've got Fallen covering this side of it, and the MongolZ, I mean, we already seen them once kind of run out of time. This is another round where that's very, very likely to happen. 20 seconds to try and get up the ladder, or, you know, call it off and go back to the B-bomb site. But none of those 2 choices are going to be easy. 14 seconds.
30 seconds. Like, you just hold W. Oh, Senzu! Oh, got baited out, but there's another player here in the form of Skulls. That may just steal the deal up. There's not enough time for the plant. The crossfire is exquisite. Cello with 2, Skulls with 2, and Furia now moving into such a good position. But man, the MongolZ, like, that's a bit more understandable for me, Anders, because they had such a bad buy and a lack of grenades for the most part. But, like, how many rounds are we going to see them try and push on with, like, 5-10 seconds on the clock?
I mean, the fact that they got the kill on Fallen at all is kind of ridiculous, but it's good to see Furia able to stabilize it once again. And, I mean, you're not wrong. The fact that there's so little time left, it's hard for MongolZ to make any kind of rational fight happen from that high ground position. If there was 30 seconds left in that moment, they can take a deep breath and try and figure out if they can isolate some fights once they're on heaven. But they obviously don't have the time, so instead it becomes just a flood into the bomb site. A little bit too much here. A 9-7 scoreline. And there is no bomb plant. There is no money here. So, yeah, they've bought, you know, a couple of upgraded pistols, but Furia in a good position here to pick this one up. The bomb being delivered right to the feet of Quesorato. And he's going to call it in as well and say, I've got the bomb right here. So, yeah, just make sure that they never really pick it up again. And they're cleaning it up. The most normal round we've seen on Nuke yet here, Vince. It's finally happening.
Ooh, nice touchdown. Yeah, exactly. They didn't even lose a point of health between the 5 of them this round. So this is so much cleaner than anything that we've really seen into this map. And that will be a concern for the MongolZ because their CT side, they just couldn't string together any kind of proper solid defense. And now Furia have won the last 2 rounds back-to-back. They've repelled a full buy. They've repelled an eco convincingly. Now, we're in an interesting spot as well where the MongolZ have played exceptionally slow. Timeout's been called. is it too much of an obvious telegraphed play to go for a straight-up rush at this stage?
Yeah, that is... that's a hard thing to call, you're right. And also, you know that there's going to be some amount of money on the FURIA side, so rushing the A-bomb side when you're running into utility, it can be done, but it is somewhat risky. There's still a million things that we haven't almost seen any normal strategies on Nuke yet. So I guess in that sense, the playbook is really open for MongolZ to try and do a bunch of different things. But maybe you do just want to test the default outside and just kind of see like what happens if we throw the yard smokes and try and make a cross. If we don't throw the yard smokes, however, for whatever reason, we are going to get shut down.
Kills.
It's actually
okay,
working.
Serrano. He can't do anything, and yeah, they finally picked up the pace, and they've got the kills they were looking for. But Yuri does have control of the bomb. This may not be done just yet. They have to still pull through that Molotov. Yuri's being on point.
Yeah.
Can he snatch away this round?
It's not impossible at all. They are going to be trying to swing him at the same time. Get the spacing just right, but it's not going to happen. Sensu with a kill in return. 3 on him, and a very strange round here. The fact that they tried to go yard with no smokes, I get, okay, fine, they wanted to attack Mini right afterwards, but it's so close to going horribly wrong here. This kill for Cello is a really fine start. It's Messinio who's opening up, but the fact that Messinio gets those kills, it means the rest of the players who would have been fighting Mini, now they're busy, worrying about the A-bomb site. So if not for Messinio and that double kill, I think FURIA still have it on lockdown pretty much, but 10-8 instead. And we're going to see round number 19 unfolding pretty quickly. Deep Incendiary to try and slow down this advancement, but Blitz is not really looking to be slowed down. This time we have some yard smokes, so yeah, he's going to be allowed to make the way fully across. Pretty good move.
No one was close either, so they're not entirely sure as to whether a player has dipped down a secret. That's going to force Cello's hand to rotate. He doesn't know how close Blitz is and nearly gets punished for it, but somehow stands his ground to deal the fatal damage on Blitz. That looked like Cello was a dead man.
Yeah, he started the fight by tossing a smoke straight at him, and that's probably not a good idea. Unfortunately, he's going to go down. There's absolutely nobody else down here to defend, so bomb plant is incoming, and there's actually a really big question right now if you should save. I know it's a 4-on-4, but on Nuke, it's not uncommon to just sort of pick it up. Oh, now they're going to get baited into it. Skulls gets the kill. You can see they were walking away. This is an easy round for FURIA to try to go for the retake now and lose absolutely everything. I'm calling it now.
Being really slow as well. Fulmer to try and get a pick, and that could be the call. I think the AWP dropped in an awkward spot. You've nailed it, Anders. Oh, they got baited in. Hook, line, and sinker. It looks like they can still save the AWP and the M4, so it's not a complete catastrophe. But it will be the MongolZ tying that deficit to just the one round, and it does seem like Serato and Skulls will be able to survive.
They saved the AWP, like you said. It was almost in a bit of an awkward position, but they managed to pick it up nonetheless. So it's not completely disastrous. It's hard even to blame FURIA for changing their mind when Skulls get the early kill, and it does become a 4-on-3. Because if you're not going to go for a 4-on-3 retake, then that doesn't feel good as a team, right? You say, oh, we've got a man advantage, and we're going to go up the round. That could be, I think, it could do some damage to the team morale. But unfortunately, it is a classic scenario. They keep a couple of rifles alive at the very least. But the MongolZ are making this a very tough game. 10-9. And money looking questionable all over the place. This is going to be a struggle all the way to the end.
Yeah, it's going to be no easy rounds. It has been a real back and forth slug of a match. Just exchanging haymakers in the center of the ring, the two teams. But with that save, they can scrape together a buy. However, all of that saved up cash has now been burnt.
Falling out here. Ready. If anyone's going to be up on the silo, Blitz again. Being allowed to make this cross, and interesting to see FURIA not make more out of trying to blow open the smokes out there. It's going to allow MongolZ quite a lot of map control. There's a reason why so many people are doing it, and there's a reason why T-sides now are being forced into throwing sometimes all 5 smokes in the yard. It's not at all uncommon that that happens on Nuke, that you actually commit your entire arsenal of smokes just to cross the yard position. Because sometimes, you know, you smoke and you re-smoke, or you quite literally throw 2 walls out there. So FURIA, though, are kind of letting them get away with a bit more. Sensu with a wild jump straight into the scope of Fallen. It's a nice opening. FURIA need this. They don't have the money to buy it. It has to be right here. If they want a chance at a 3rd map, if they are trying to avoid elimination, it has to work now. 9-10 going to be taken out of Fallen, and we're into a 4 versus 4 with 40 seconds left. I'm not worried yet, Vince, but soon I will be for the MongolZ.
Oh, KSerrato has the perfect angle, though, and Blitz did not see that coming. Just moved down from the heaven position. The thing is, when you see Fallen out in that position with the AWP, you're going to assume that someone's in lockers or heaven, so understandable why Blitz goes in, but meanwhile, Mazzinho's getting hot and heavy. May not realize that Yuri's down in shadow, and 9-10's going for the plant, but he's about to get denied, and that's not going to be the plant getting finalized either. So now Mazzinho has so many angles to cover by himself, he's not sure where the MP9's gone at this stage, but he's caught in transition, takes down one though, and somehow surviving, thriving, but he can't get the clutch. So close with KSerrato on 22, but he's got just about enough health to get it done.
That is absolutely absurd. I can't believe he could have won it right then and there, Mazzinho. If anything touches him on the ramp, that's it. He's getting it. You know what? Absolutely hilarious. Yuri, who's playing with that MP9 in the dark position, he basically sells out Cello. You can see Cello goes down here, and Yuri is there. He could have done something to maybe swing and revenge the kill, but he's like, no, I'm gonna wait until that bomb. And it's a really good play. Like, it works out perfectly, but it did look funny. If I'm Cello, I'm gonna be like, come on, like, why am I getting shot from that direction? But sometimes, as Yanko famously said, it's a fine line between baiting and teamwork. Classic Counter-Strike saying.
100%. I think that's a really good point to raise. It's like, yeah, Cello could be disappointed, but at the same time, he realizes by Yuri staying in the shadow position and basically baiting him out, he denies the bomb plant and he effectively gives him the best possibility to win. And Mazzinho just went huge there as well, by the way. Like, he's going to be so sad he didn't get that clutch. He went above and beyond what he really could have done. So, understandable bait, but now into this next round, it's going to be a bit of a pincer, and it's the 2 MP9s that sing in unison. It's another one to Yuri, and the Mongols are being just straight up steamrolled out of this round. Still with 2 players, though, still with a chance.
There is a bit of one. Again, Sinio, he's been terrifying. Force pushes in for the debris of the HE, and he gets the double. What a setup! He's going to swap it for the AWP. Solo on health, and he's ready! Takes down Cello! Once again, the baby-faced assassin is back, and he's decimated FURIA.
Oh my... Mazzinho's playing just S-tier Counter-Strike. He's playing out of his mind. He's desperately trying to get all his teammates on his back and carry them. Get the man a chiropractor. Get him a massage, whatever he needs. Unbelievable. Picking up Yorp at the end, knowing that he's low HP. He has that one-and-done potential with the sniper. And he's feeling himself, and why the hell not? Unbelievable.
That's a play, that entire sequence, right? They don't have a flashbang, so they set up with the HE, obscuring the fact that he's actually running through to fight them. Nothing can go wrong. There is no margin for error. If he slips up even for a second, he's instantly dead. Same with the AWP at the end with the health that's left. Absolutely sickening stuff coming out. Mazzinho trying the best that he can to send FURIA back home to South NA. It's getting close.
Yeah, he is single-handedly right now trying to put an end to FURIA's tournament prospects. 25-13. Nearest player on his team is Blitz on 16 kills. And KSerrato on 22 has had a very solid game, but it's the impact as well, Anders. It's not just the 25 kills. It's how many times he broken the economy. How many times he pulled off 2 or 3 kills out of nowhere.
Gonna get the kill here. Economy wrecked. Oh. Was that the last bullet as well, or did he just swap to the pistol? That was actually... I wish we could see that in slow motion. That looked so cool. Like he just rattled off the last of the MAC-10 while he was jumping, and somehow that worked. Well done.
We tied up. 11 apiece. First map ended incredibly close. Nuke will be the same. Do we go the full round? Do we maybe even have just a whiff, a hint of OT in the air?
Techno's actually smiling himself at that one. All right. I mean, why not? We haven't had any knife or Zeus kills yet, so why not get into some overtime so we can have, you know, the full menu of craziness here. That's not the smoke that they were looking for at all. Smoking that crane in the middle. Bit of an odd choice. 11-11. It's going to be very low utility right now for the side of FURIA. They do not have the defuse kit either. They've got to stop this bomb from going down, which is an issue because they're already down below with it. There are no CTs here. This could actually be a very, very tough 10-second defuse. Like, I don't see a world in which the bomb is not going to get planted here.
I guess there's a method to the madness of how slow the Mongols were playing at the start of this T side. FURIA have been conditioned to not necessarily fully believe that this wall smoke execute outside means they're going to push it. And this, of course, is the round where that is the case, and they've done it quickly. They've already got control over the control room itself. They've pushed downstairs. They're in decon, ready to explode out. Going to be checking all of their angles and realize the bomb is completely bereft of any CTs. And like you said, no kit trying to go for a retake, being smoked to Molotoved off. Do FURIA just go for a 5-player defense here and just save?
Yeah, you probably should. Again, it's a tragic thing to have to say. But if you think about what's on the line, you're going to be fighting for overtime. Just there's 2 bomb sites, Vince. You pretty much have to try and defend both of them. I guess you don't have to actually. You are allowed to not defend any of them if you really want to. But traditionally, you try and do both.
And if you
not
don't,
FURIA.
This is the outcome. They will look like they'll save all 5 weapons, though. However, the Mongols have a pretty solid economy now. They're going to have an easy buy into the next one, but probably don't want to give away AKs to the CTs. So it's a bit of a double-edged sword. However, whichever way you spin it, 12-11, the Mongols now with a match point, elimination point on the line on the side of FURIA. The gamble did not work. Where do they go from here?
It's a sick plan as well, isn't it? Like, guys, if they come A, we are going to win 100% of the time. And somebody's going to be like, what if they go B and Fallen's like, shut up. Just shut up.
Shut your mouth.
How dare you? It's going to be the 24. Oh, it's the double grenade. Queserato getting blown up without even a chance to respond. That's such a neat little trick. It's not something that's going to work, obviously. It's going to work once in a map, but saving it right to the end. And you said it as well. They've changed the pace quite a bit here. The Mongols started off very slow, painfully slow, in fact. Blitz, is he going to get flashed through? He's going to walk straight through, and somehow that works. There's not even any grenades, though. Cello, he can't believe his eyes. Why would that ever happen? And why would it work?
Oh, Fallen's crosshair was way too high. I'm not sure if he's expecting to get peeked from the upper angle, but oh dear. It looks like this might be the end. Yuri in a 1-on-4 to save FURIA, to keep them at PGL Bucharest. The Mongols were 0-2, and they've battled valiantly to get themselves back into this tournament. And it's looking like they're going to seal the deal and have another stay of execution. Yuri, though, we'll be able to hear the footsteps of Mazzinho momentarily, but that is only the tip of the iceberg for the issues he's going to have to contend with.
Gets the first one there, but they are so ready. Got the dink, it is not going to be enough. The Mongols will stay alive, and for FURIA, it's a long plane ride home, unfortunately for them. Down here in the lower bracket, you know, we're not taking any hostage or anything else like that. The Mongols on an upward trajectory, and really, really impressive